Hi everyone, and welcome to another Sewing Thursday. Because you might have just tuned into this one, I very quickly want to show you what we've already covered, so you know that you can find those videos on the playlist of the sewing workshop on YouTube as well. So we have done a concealed zip, which is the zip which has the teeth on the underside. That is this one here. It's totally invisible to the outside. It's beautifully put in. So that is the concealed zip, like this one. We've also done the jean zip. And for the jean zip, you can use any type of zip really. You can use something metal-y like that or something plastic. Metal is always a bit harder to sew over at the end, and I have used a really thick plastic one, and we've got everything in here that a jean zip will need. So you've done that one, hopefully. Have you? I personally am not a fan of lapped zips, but if you want to do that, you can use just a plain zip like that in plastic where the teeth lie on the top. And then you can put that in. And then we moved on to the decorative zips, and I've shown you in 1 week this zip here, which has got a nice little puller on it, fully lined like that, which I think is quite nice. So you see the teeth lying to the outside, but that's about all you see. Then I've also shown you another method of putting a zip in, whereby unlike this one, which is like totally clean, you actually have to finish the end bit off and the zip lies to the inside. So that was one option. I really like this one. I think it's quite neat. This is the only thing where it's not that neat and it's fairly simple to do. So this one looks really cool. I like that one. And today we're going to move on to another option of zip, which I saw in a shop, and I thought, well, that will be the last one I show you. And it's got the zip actually on the outside. That seems to be very fashionable, so I thought I'd show you how to do this. I've actually taken a lot of pains over this and spent hours trying to find a way to do it simpler. And actually, the simplest way I come up with is to sew the lining in by hand. All the other ways were okay for someone that can sew really well, but not so much for somebody that is just starting to sew. So if you wanted to put in a zip like this, then this is the video for you. Let's get started. For this zip, we're going to use just a really nice decorative open zip, and I've got a bit of lining, and I'm pretending I'm putting it on my jeans. And I'm wearing glam nails from Madame Glam. Actually, this is the first time somebody sent me something, so I thought yellow and yellow, put this together, and they're really nice. So I did tell them, don't send stuff to a sewing channel, but they insisted, so I'm wearing Madame Glam nails. I think I can say that. And while we are wearing those Madame Glam nails, we are going to pin on our zip straight on where we've got the center back or the center front, depends where you want the zip to be. And we're simply going to stitch the whole zip in all the way around. I think it's very important that you've got really well matching thread for this. I had a look in the shops when I was researching what zip could I possibly do, and actually I tried this many ways to make it easier, and this was the easiest way I could come up with. Of course you can do it more complicated, but I thought, what's the point of that, right? So we're going to stitch this in. When we get to the end, these bits are just folded in, and we're just simply going to stitch across it. I saw that in a children's wear designer shop, and I thought, well, that's really clever. So we're going to try this. Let's stitch this zip in. Whoops, let's just do that like that, and then I'm going to just do it back up. So I'm going all the way down. That's good. And maybe the stitch length needs to be a bit bigger as well. tuck in your zip ends, turn, tuck in the other zip end as well, and then use a pin to maybe hold that because that's bound to move. And got my matching nails. So funny. Does that mean I've made it as a YouTuber because I get sent stuff? They're very good. So I'm going all the way up to the end. So now you ask, what do I do? I've got my zip, but it's not open. So this is where this zip is easier than other zips, really, because we're going to now open this all up, okay? And we're going to cut it from the inside. So I'm going to move over all my threads. Put that away. There. And then I'm going to cut through the center of my zip. But not all the way to the end. I'm going to do like a little cross here to that side and a little cross to that side. Whoops, not cutting into my zip. All right, so now I've got this. I will just simply iron all of this. So now I've ironed this to the side, and from the outside that already looks like pretty glam. It's very nice if you have got a really modern, fashionable dress that this goes with, especially with denim. So now I'm going to put my lining on. So the only thing here you need to make sure of is that you don't go too far up. Okay, so we want our triangle to end here so that it looks really neat down this neck of the woods. Okay, so roll it down so you know how far you have to go. I'm going to just put a pin here so I can see what I'm doing. All straight. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in here, and to make sure I cut it all straight, I'm going to cut all of this in one go like that. Okay, so right through the center. Don't be scared. I've measured it and I'm stopping in front of that, and you see how perfect I am now. So I'm going to just here going to cut into the corner, and you can see that's where my thing is, so I want to stop in front of that. Yeah, not quite as far, and I go to the other side as well. That's it basically. So when you roll this back, nice and neat. Now the next step is to sew the lining to the top, so that all of this at the top looks clean. I'm going to wrap this round here, round my zip. That's all I do. Now the really clever socks that you all are will have worked out now that your lining in the center needs to be, if you're adding this to a pattern, 1 centimeter longer in the middle, so that you've got this wrap over, otherwise it'll be too short. We're going to sew across there with that tucked over, and in here we've got the right sides facing. Going over here, and just all the way to the end. And when I turn this here, you get a really clean edge, which we are just going to fold over and under. So I want to cut this back a bit as well, because it's a bit long, isn't it? And nice and clean either side. It's actually really simple, this. I'm going to do this by hand, because simply that way you can do the zip without making mistakes and getting all upset because it didn't work, and saying, oh no, it looked so easy. I'm going to just tuck this in neatly there, and then I'm going to slip stitch this all the way around. We want to hide our thread at the top here, and I'm just going through and then I'll open up my zip so I can get in a bit better. And you can tell by my long sleeves that currently Los Angeles is not very hot. Oh no, it's actually quite cold. Stitch again that I like to use, where you go through that crease, pick up a tiny bit of your zip. Don't want it to show through to the side. And I'm just going back now so I can sit further back from the zip. That's the only thing that's not that professional about this zip, but I think it looks really good. And so do my Madame Glam nails. I think this is probably the first and only time that I will accept anything that is not related to sewing. And if you wanted your Madame Glam nails, I've actually put a link under this video because you're getting 30% off. So that's not bad. I thought I'd do that. And also, I'm just coming back up on the other side. You could just attach this to, look, you could just go into your jeans, which you folded back as well. That would also work. Yeah, like that. So you've got the two options if you find it really hard to grab just a little bit of the zip. And there's my zip, all done. I've sewn it all in, and even though, you know, it's not that professional up here, I think from the outside it looks very cool. And if you wanted to do this zip, then I think this is the way to probably do it. So thank you for watching, and next week we're going to begin with pockets. Bye for now.